Hey, folks, it's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building. That's right, Sports Psychology Solutions and another winning Wednesdays. Dealing with some winners, no doubt. I'm dealing with my guy, Courtney. I did the math, man. We got 25 plus years in the game, man. My guy, Courtney Alexander, my brother that I met at Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We were that Chi-Town Detroit connection. We both grew a lot from how we was getting down and where we are, man. But as I tell you in our private conversations, and I'll say this for the world to hear, man, I'm so proud of you, happy for you, inspired by you, appreciative of our relationship. I appreciate the game you drop on me, and I just appreciate your willingness to be vulnerable to the world, to talk about your experience in raising that great young man of yours in Jacob. Great young man. Definitely has a promising future, and I just love focusing on you guys. And it's not just with basketball with Jacob, but just his mannerisms, how things are being, brought to him and all that. So what I want to do and what I put out there to social media and promoting this opportunity, man, is really talking about what it's like as a parent that's having a young man or young lady, a rising star in their respective sport, and Jacob is that, no doubt. I remember when I came down, you guys were in Grand Rapids, and you shouted me out. And we came through. I came through to holler at you. We kicked in the hotel. You guys were getting it in. Were you guys getting in with Mean Streets that time?
Yeah. We've always been with Mean Streets. We never too much branched out. It's a great organization, that really works with the kids in development. And I've been blessed enough to have a couple of friends that have been able to work with my son, so having that relationship with those gentlemen has really helped me out, because I've known them prior to, this basketball thing. So I know how they carry themselves, and it's always been a blessing, so that's what I look at, is surrounding myself and surrounding my son with the right village.
Yeah.
And that's key to me.
And clearly your family is showing nothing but love. I see your brother Charles Alexander. He's on it. He hit me up 11:30 today talking about can't wait. He was on it early this morning. Like, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. So that's nothing but love. Charles Alexander, we appreciate you. I see the love you got for bro, man. And I call you family myself, man. Everybody want to call you when you on now, huh?
Yeah.
So let's talk more about, of course, we'll talk about Jacob's success, but really, especially as we get ready to get into this AAU season, and there'll be a few sponsors that we'll talk about in a second with some great AAU events coming up, not just for the players, but for parents, especially guys who are golf lovers like you and I. So talk about, let's just call Jacob, and I know you humble with it. Let's say he's bona fide. Let's say he's legit. He's making his moves. He has the potential to have a great future in basketball, hopefully high school and collegiate. So with that being said, I'm telling all the folks and listeners out here, let's not get into, my man is solid. This is him with Brother Teague right here. Man, he got some nice size on one of them pro athletes right there, So what is it like?
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, that was a couple years ago. He might be out of eye with him.
Yeah, I know that these photos are maybe a little dated, no doubt. So just to say that with his size and what's going on. So I just really want to paint the picture for people, because how communities are. They can be like, oh man, whatever, it would say, hey, all fam, yeah, all fam, Charles. That's right, all fam. So it's legit, and I'll just put something out there briefly when I talk about my eye as a sports psychology consultant, spending several years with Michigan State basketball and football, knowing what it looks like. So we're gonna call Jacob bona fide. He legit. So that's said and done. Talk about your experience as a dad, and how you would always sit at center court, and you would always find yourself naturally coaching, helping. But then you talked to me about that transition you went through, Courtney, where you started to fall back. And it was amazing to me that you had the ability to do it. So talk about that experience and that transition, because that's what I really want to get into, hopefully to be a benefit to some of our viewers, and how that can help them let their kids move forward without them, being on them like that.
The thing about it is we all want to do the best that we can for our kids. And at some point in time, you have to look at, all right, this is as high as I can go with it. So who do I trust? who do I feel comfortable with having my son around and those things. And from the beginning, I've been able to be blessed with having him train with the same gentleman from the time that he could dribble a basketball until right now. And it actually started with my older son, who worked with him, and he didn't quite make it in basketball, but he took a lot of the benefits of learning to work hard, learning to persevere, and the things that sports can teach you. And now he's a chef, and he's just moving to San Francisco to work at a restaurant that is number 35 out of 50 in the world.
Wow.
And that right there is what I'm looking for.
Round of applause. Great job.
Yeah.
So you get that work ethic he got from playing basketball early on, and I know you're all about the academic. So let me go back to something you said, Courtney, because I really want to dissect this, and I think this is great. And what your brother said, your brother was like, he said you didn't pass him already. You didn't pass his dad, me, everybody in the family. I haven't seen Jacob in a while, but I know he didn't stretched out with that size, right? Appreciate you, Charles. You said something. You said this is as high as I can go, but you made reference to things like trust and knowing that was it. So many parents, Courtney, male and females, feel that they got to be all in all the time for the ride. And I think they don't get to that point where they say, okay, I got to back off. And we can always say it's a parent trying to live vicariously through their kid, or they just really feel that they got the best in their interest of mind. Like you're a resourceful guy, man. You can get access to people. You're a bright guy, and I'm not just patronizing you. I mean, you can get people to get with you and help. So what do you think it takes to really get a parent to say, okay, there's going to come a time, unless I'm a nationally ranked coach and this is what I do as a profession, that eventually I got to step back and let the pros do what they do. Talk about that part and being able to make that decision.
Well, it's all about just wanting the best for your child, and wanting and being humble enough to take that step. Some people say, oh no, I can figure it out. Well, the best thing I can ever do is, if I can't do something, I'm gonna tell you I can't do it, and then we'll go from there. But for the most part, I'm always gonna be, you said, they want to be along for the ride. I'm always gonna be along for the ride, but it's just that I'm playing a different position right now. I'm still that comes first and foremost before anything, so being able to, and humble enough to say, all right, I think it's time for him to take the next step, and I believe in this person, and doing your research on who this person or that coach may be and all of those things. And you really got to do a background check, man, and understand, because you're entrusting your most prized possession in this world with that person. And the statement, I kill a brick for my son.
Yeah, I feel you. Right.
So that just goes into playing. You just got to do your research and be humble enough to say, okay, this is a step. It's just like making a decision in life. Once you decide to do it, it's time for you to do it. And above and beyond, trusting God that you are making the right decision. And I think that helps out more than anything. It's first being a God-fearing man. I'm not perfect. Don't get it twisted, but I do acknowledge him in all ways, and for me, just praying over my son. Before he leave the house, he might not even be up yet, but I'm praying for him, because we have to right now. It's a tough time out here, and it's bigger than just sports. And so again, and trusting someone, doing your research about it, being humble enough to say, it's time.
Yeah.
And to take it back, I can remember the first time I even considered playing AAU basketball. His trainer was like, you don't really need to do it yet. And we held out. Yeah. And, then once you get out there and you see the competition and you see, I think of it as the times have changed. You can't go to the park and play the competition like we used to do.
Yeah, you can't play to the street lights come on, the sun go down.
Yeah.
Out there.
So in the early stages, AAU to me was the park was the opportunity for him to get out and see that, hey, you're not the only kid doing this. You say you want to do it, and it's important.
You're muted. You're muted right now.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
No problem. Okay, we're solid.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, look, let Courtney chill for a minute. He go get with y'all after the show. All right, let him handle this. Just hold tight.
And let me say this, man. This has been the most humblest thing that I can see that I've done with my son is you recognizing, I appreciate that because it lets me know that this is my main goal in life is to make sure that my kids are well-rounded, God-fearing young men outside of basketball. Sports is just the vehicle, and we cannot forget that. So just having those mind frames in your mind in the beginning and not backing off from it because it's going to get crazy. And it is. And it's
I want to get to the crazy part, but also I want to do one other thing. I want to add some context to what's going on. You clearly spoke to your spirituality and your belief in God, which I'm glad to be a believer too, and how that's helped. But don't get it twisted for our viewers out here. Courtney presents very well because he is a mature, God-fearing man. But like I said, we got 25 plus years, and I know how that arc has gone. So let's keep it 100. My point being is Courtney ain't no square at all. So with that being said, because what happened is somebody be like, oh, well, my man, like, no. Courtney know what it's like, but you don't sit here glorifying the other side of that. But I want to talk about that. As a matter of fact, let's just take a quick break because I want to show you something that's going on. Maybe I can get you to come to Michigan in October. But I want to shout out Team Michigan, one of our sponsors. And I just want to go to a really quick commercial break for a second. So stay with us, Courtney. I'll be right back in 1 second.
Sounds good.
Breaking news, Team Michigan Basketball is presenting a series of basketball tournaments at Grand Traverse Resort and Spa. Get your teams registered today. The first tournament in this series is coming this Halloween weekend. Visit boosketball.com or teammichiganbasketball.com for more information.
Courtney, man, I'm going to tell you more about that trip to Grand Traverse Halloween weekend, man. They got 54 holes of golf. I know you'll be in heaven. We'll be out there getting it in. Let's go to Fam real quick. He says, bro, watching Courtney and seeing what he has done with Jacob. Courtney positioning himself and allowing someone to take Jacob all over the place to play and doing this is so much love. But then check out what bro come and say. He is a square. He done cleaned up on him, huh? He done cleaned up. I love it.
Talking about is I am a traveling man,
Yeah, hey, you know what? Hey, shout out, we are traveling men, exactly, no doubt, man. Shout out Redeemer 53, baby, PHA. So with that being said, let's get into the other side of it. Let's get into the part about the realities of the world because we are of the flesh. And I'm saying this to say a lot of parents know not what they do when there's jealousy, there's envy, when they look at where Jacob may have been early on in the process and their kid was all the hype. And now you got these transitions, and we're not going to get into names or institutions, but you got a lot of high-profile programs that are aware of Jacob. And I think that's a lot to be said. So talk about being able to manage, I don't know, you may not even get this, the jealousy, the envy, or the lack of support all the way around because Jacob is getting the type of love that that their kid may not be getting.
Well, I can say this, which is a great feeling. His village is so solid around him that it blocks those things, and we don't even acknowledge, anything like that. First of all, these are kids, and I never lose sight of that. And also, whatever this game has for him, it'll be for him, and we're not going to waste time and energy on negative thoughts, negative people, negative anything. Because again, this is a game. This is a game that can come and that can go, but life is forever. So we don't get into, the negativity and all of those things, man. And what you put out in the world, this is another thing that I always tell him. what you put out in the world, you'll get back. So if you think somebody doing good or whatever the case may be, don't hate on them. Work harder. If that's what you want to do, you know, and don't back down from any competition or anything like that, you know. And it's just a matter of staying humble, keeping you still getting phone calls. Staying humble, staying about your lane and what your business is, and going for what you want out of life, you know. So I thank God that the village around my son helps protect him in my absence, if there ever is, because I try to be around for everything,
right?
You know. But yeah, the village around keeps him strong enough and keeps the negativity out, you know. And that's the one thing that I want to maintain throughout his life.
Speaking of the village, we know we got your brother Charles Alexander be chiming in. Talk about another influential person right here.
Oh man, you gonna make me cry.
No, hold it together. You got it. I got you though. I feel you.
So when you just put up the best person that you can ever think of, and I'm only doing the same things that my father did for me, and I just want to try to outdo him, which I don't think I'm gonna be able to. But man,
you got a lot of life to live.
Dude, that is my hero. That is my best friend. We weren't best friends all the time because there was a point where if you act up, that's where you get it at. You know.
Yeah.
We were cut from that cloth. But growing up over the years, and actually, you know, it's been so many times that I have to call back and say, you know what, you was right. You know, something simple as, hey man, you need to put a coat on, or you need to put on some more clothes. And I'd be like, I'm good. Then all of a sudden I'd be calling back like, you know what? You was right, because it was cold out there. And I have, you know, what I needed to have. But I don't have that problem anymore. But again, having him in my life, all my life, has given me a chance to be around a great man that he's a born leader. You can talk to any. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
You can talk to anybody that has come in contact with my father, and I guarantee you they're gonna say the same thing. He's a born leader. Like he's not gonna sit around for nothing. He's not gonna sugarcoat it. He gonna shoot it straight, you know, and that's all that you can ask for, you know. And growing up, he was well respected in our neighborhood, you know, because he looked out for a lot of kids. You know, and our yard was the place to be because we had the basketball hoop back in the day, you know. Right. So he looked out for a lot of kids. He's my absolute hero. The one person that besides my mom too. Don't get her twisted.
That's right. I bet.
Gotta put and you know it's so funny. They've been together for so long. You can't call and ask one person what they want because they're gonna look at the other one, and it's a true definition of a union.
Oh man, I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that.
Can't call and say, Dad, what you want? He gonna say, what your mama want?
Because he know when he get off the phone, that's it. I want to stay on there for a second and shout out to your dad, man. And it's funny, as parents, you know, my daughter's 9. Actually, she turns 9 on Friday. And it's funny, we were just having a conversation just today, and she made a comment about knowing what I expect of her. And it was kind of, you know, it was heavy. But to your point, you mentioned earlier that your dad wasn't always your friend. And I think so many times, going back to this AAU piece and this youth sports, I think parents may feel or not recognize that you can be okay not being friends with your child at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that atmosphere is exciting. It's intoxicating. It's sexy. If to say that youth sport is sexy because of all the attention that comes into it. You know, how do you fight that feeling of not trying to please and be friendly compared to saying, look, I'm going to pass down some principles to you that you just may have to deal with?
Well, you know, it's just knowing what the world is going to give them, you know, and the best that I can do is prepare him for that. So, yeah, as much as we are cool and we do have a great relationship, when it's time to draw the line, it's time to draw the line. And why? Because I'm the head of my household and I'm first line of defense. So whatever comes through is coming through me first. So it's my job to get him prepared to fulfill that role once he goes out into the world. And if we are not hard on our kids now, they're going to fall victim. And I was over my dead body. You know, if it's something that goes down later on in life, it won't be because I didn't prepare him. I'm going to do until I have no more breath in my body. I'm going to push out and expect and keep the bar high. Because if you, and what I learned is this, if you keep the bar high, that's all they know.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I want to add to that because I know the statistics bear the fact that so many single parent households led by African American women, and what you just even spoke on, Courtney, just having that union of your parents, your biological father, your biological mom, right there together. That's just unique to our community. So what I want to add is, as a product of a single parent household, now mind you, me and my dad are super tight. You know, I bear his name. My parents were divorced. You know, and you know, he and I are super tight. But my mom, as a single parent, raising both my brother Sean and I, who passed of a heart condition, she did it. So to the mothers that are listening, you don't necessarily got to be your son or daughter friend. It's about those principles. And it may be tight early on, and there may be some wrestling going on, but I'm reading the word says, you know, God wants you to wrestle with him. So it's almost like if you got to, because you know as an adult what is best for the kid. And it's about trying to translate that into modern society. But the principles that your dad has passed on, the principles my mom has passed on are everlasting. So, you know, with that being said, man, talk about what the future is like and what you anticipate for Jacob going forward and how you plan to ease on into what's about to be his freshman year in high school, right?
No, he's in 7th.
Dang, man. Oh, I should know better, man.
Yeah, he's going into 8th grade, but I mean, you know, we always try to stay 2 steps ahead. So we are thinking in that light, you know. Everything now is preparing for high school. You know, this is not about right now. You know, I don't get into the rankings and all of those things, although it is good for the kids to be recognized, you know, because they do work really hard, you know. But like the Illinois basketball All-Stars ranked him. He's like number 13 or 14 in his age group right now. And that's great. You know, you need a little pat on the back every now and then.
Right.
You also need to say, hey, it's time to get back to it now. You know, and those things can go, you know, you have to really stay in their ear with that because you don't want them to get caught up in all of this ranking and all of this. Always, this is my motto. If you get ranked and all of those things, you are nothing but the tallest midget right now. Because
I feel you.
I say that because nobody's going to remember who the best 7th grader was, you know, a year or 2 from now. They're not going, you know, as much as you going to remember it, and everybody that wants to take you down is going to remember it, but the world in general is not going to be looking for that. It's what do you do? You know, how are you preparing yourself for the next level? And that's all that we're looking at right now. We've had some, you know, these growing pains, man. He's had some knee issues. We worked through that. Now he had some foot issues. And it's funny, you know, as a parent, you never know what you're going to have to deal with, you know, but you're going to do whatever you got to do for your kid. I'll say this all the time. If he wanted to play badminton, I'd be researching badminton and trying to find a good badminton trainer.
Son, you got to work on your backswing. You got to work on your backswing. So, let me hold you for a second. I want to shout out our guy David, affectionately known as Dirt, shouting us out from WMU, part of that WMU family, saying both his dogs he's talking. Yeah, a great dad. He's always spending time. Hey man, what's up? Hey, I can't get no invite when you go fishing, man. He be pulling the fish up. Also, shout out to our fam, our guy Donez Richardson, affectionately known as Jack Tripper, out here on social media. Good brother all the way around. Let me keep you for a second. I want to go to another one of our sponsors' moments, man. Just stay here for a second, okay?
Sure.
You know who it is, baby. And I'm here to tell you about the new youth basketball tournament in Michigan. Team Michigan basketball has done the work. It's prime time. They are PTPers, baby. Get ready for a scary good basketball tournament Halloween weekend at the venue of all venues, Baby Grand Traverse Resort. I'm talking about a diaper dandy, baby. I mean awesome with a capital A. A basketball tournament that is designed with the entire family in mind. Escape to a 900-acre northern Michigan resort just outside of Traverse City. Enjoy 54 holes of championship golf, spa, indoor-outdoor tennis, indoor water playground, fitness center, private beach club, 4 restaurants, shopping, and now basketball. I can't wait, baby! It's the stay to play that will make your day! Halloween Weekend 2021. Check it out at www.boosketball.com. Register your team soon. This one is going to fill up quickly. A basketball tournament at a resort. That's a slam, bam, jam, baby!
Yo, we're back at it, man. That's going to be some good times. With the remaining time we have, man, my guy Derek Coleman, 1990 NBA first round, lottery pick number 1. He's having his summer league starting in a couple weeks. You see the basketballs will be going down here in Michigan, man. It's getting to be that time. What advice do you have for parents who are getting ready to make a commitment as we transition out of this COVID in the most healthy of ways as far as getting their kids involved? Because you did mention earlier how at one point you held Jacob back and didn't really put him out there. So what would be advice you can give to someone? Because the last thing I'll add to this, then I'll defer to you. I've had parents at the highest level. I've been at USA Basketball 17 and under, 16 and under, and parents said some amazing things. They said, we've never been here before, so we don't know. And unless you have a lineage of brothers, sisters who've played at a high level where you know, so to speak, what do you advise them going into this new prep season, especially this summertime?
Just to work with the kids, make sure they ready for it. Don't put them out there. Make sure that
But everybody hyping me up, man. Your son this, your daughter this. The hype game, the hype machine be going hard.
The hype machine is good, but for yourself where your child is. And if you feel like they're ready, put them out there. Let them go through it, because it's an experience at the end of the day. And that's what this whole thing is about, is just creating the experience for your kid. So I think about when I played youth sports and football in high school and all of those things, about the experiences that we went through, playing 7-on-7 football, knocking my first guy out, breaking my first helmet. It's all about the experience and the things that they could grab from the sport. And just being there, don't forget to allow your child to be a child. Hold
on. Devil's advocate, Courtney. Devil's advocate. No, son, if you want to go to the league, you got to be out here every day. You got to be going. You got the other kids sleeping. You got to be working, yada, 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 yada.
I want my son to be a well-rounded, God-fearing young man. And whatever God has for him is going to be, and nobody can stop that. Now, we talk about the league. I talk numbers to my son. What is it, 460 players in the league?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's you got a better chance of winning the lottery. And I'm not saying it's not attainable, but there's other things that, I want him, if he learns the work ethic, if he learns to be professional, if he learns to carry himself the right way, he'll be fine no matter what, and if this game teaches him, another thing too is he doesn't have to be a player. There's other things in the game. If you have a good high basketball IQ, you can be a coach. There's other avenues in the game, You
can only play for so long, no matter what. Anyway, short of LeBron James, you can only play for so long and have a good quality of life.
And so let me say this. Truth be told, I want my son to golf, because you can golf until you're 80 years old. And then that's no time for me and him to be on the course. But
we know you love it.
Yeah, but again, just getting
you love it, baby. He always out there hitting it, baby. Got his stick in his hand and everything.
Wow, you did your research, man.
I already know you, baby. I already know you.
but again, you know, just allowing your child to grow as much as they can within the game, you know, and don't get ahead of yourself. Stay humble and keep it about the kids, man. It's another thing too is bothering me is like going to these tournaments, you seeing all this fighting going on. There is nothing in the world that should result in a fight or anything. I mean, competitive juices get the flowing, and that's fine. But there's no way you could tell me a ref could be wrong 100 times. I'm not gonna want to fight him.
Right.
That's not in my.
But no, man. If you cheating for them and you want that kid to be better, you trying to mess my kid need exposure. Yada yada yada. Shout out to my guy, Coach Orlando Watkins, who's part of Team Michigan. That great publicity we've been saying. He's talking about being a good human being first, athlete second. I want to go back to something you said though, Courtney. You talked about those principles that you can rely on. And why is it that people look at the principles of hard work, you know, being a good person, God-fearing? Why do they act as if those aren't long-standing principles that work, and they double down on you got to just put in 80 hours a week in the gym?
You know what? I just heard something. Gilbert Arenas with this whole.
Yep.
You heard what he said. He said he was working out 6 hours a day and all of this stuff. And Mullins told him, you need to work smarter. And that's what it's about. You know, it's levels to it. As you get older, your body can't endure all of the same things. So you got to figure this thing out, you know, and make the necessary changes for yourself. You know,
I'm always quick to say to that point, and I've learned as I picked this up. I was at USA basketball with Coach John Lucas. One thing he said is, if you're the best person in the gym, you need to go to another gym. Okay. And secondly, you know, the reality is that just because you're in the gym don't mean you're working out. I was in the gym from 8 in the morning. Like, are you getting up shots? Are you making shots? What's that? John Calipari talks about that. And I think when you get to that part, Courtney, I'm going to let you get this. When you get to that part, people don't really want to face that reality. Like, okay, you got up 1,000 shots. How many you make? You know, so when you really get into the specifics of it. So please go ahead.
Now, and not only that, I'm referring back to Gilbert Arenas again. It's not even just making 1,000 shots. You can make 1,000 shots not even jumping. Are you going game speed at all times? That's the one thing that I'm on my son about constantly. I don't care if we just playing around or whatever case may be. If we're getting up shots, it needs to be for a purpose. It needs to be with effort. You know, you need to want to show that this is what you want to do. And everything has to be, once you step on that court, I don't care if you're training, I don't care what you're doing. Everything has to be game speed. You know, right now, I was just looking at it yesterday. You know, his coach right now says, you're looking at somebody that's giving you the answer to the test. Why is he giving him the answer to the test? Because he was an NFL linebacker. He knows the process. Again, it's about putting your kids in the right situation to learn from people. You know,
what do you say about the parent who may say, well, I don't have no NFL people around me, or it's cost prohibitive? You an accountant, you know, it's cost prohibitive for me to get a trainer. I'm trying to give you every excuse I could possibly give, Courtney, to for that person who says, woe is me, woe is me. What do you say to them?
I have gone through my budget 1,000,000 times over. And if it's something that's regarding my son, I'm going to invest. There's nothing, I'll cut back whatever I got to do to make sure that he gets a shot or an opportunity, especially if it's with somebody that's a good, positive person that you know he can gain from. And, you know, you also get vibes from people, you know, whether you want to deal with them or not. And once you get to that, no, I don't look in that. I mean, I've made so many adjustments. I've gotten into so many arguments about, you're doing too much of this, you're doing too much of that. No, I'm not. Because what else you want me to do?
I get it.
I could be out here hanging out and doing all that stuff. No.
Are you be on them tea times? I be seeing them greens you be on. Them don't be no regular public courses where it's easy. You pay for them green fees, baby.
Oh yeah. You know, but again, you know, it's all about budgeting and it's all about making sacrifices. I might not be able to play one weekend. You know, I might not be able to play. Hey, when this pandemic hit, we weren't playing at all, you know. So to get back out there, it was like, oh man, this is something new because we were in the gyms all the time.
Let me challenge you with that statement, and I'm only pushing back because some people will try to still find a way. Okay, you say that there was an issue with the budget, and you're pushing back. What about the person that says, how would I want to put this? Basically saying that you're saying that there's no excuse, and you're willing to pay this for your. Oh, I know what it is. I'm sorry for moving around. Do you turn around and say, Jacob, I paid all this money, you better do this? What about, okay, you feel I'm going? Let's talk about that.
I'm not, no, because what I decide to do for him is what I decide to do for him. I'm never going to put that in his face, you know, because.
You're not going to say, hey, man, you got to get me and your granddaddy a house. You got to get your uncle a car.
Yeah,
I be hearing that, though. You know, you hear that conversation, though.
Yeah.
You know, you go buy the whole hood saying you go buy us, just putting the pressure on the kid.
Yeah, I've definitely heard it, but that's just not for me in my house, you know. I'm making, God has put me where I need to be. So I'm not waiting on my son to do nothing for me. And if he decides tomorrow that he does not want to play this game anymore, I'm not going to look at him any less.
I'm not waiting on my son to do nothing for me. So it's not a hustle where you saying I'm going to throw this out here to get it back from him because he's going to turn around and give me that. You know, you're saying I'm going to invest in it to be able to help him grow as a person no matter what. And let's not forget, any young man or young woman that has the opportunity to go play a collegiate sport on any level, reduced or scholarship, that's an opportunity for them to take advantage of the educational part to go forward. And so many of our young people miss out on that, you know?
And to be honest with you, if I had one goal, that's it, free education. Because the knowledge is something that, you know, I don't care if you hurt your knees or whatever, they can't take that from you. They could wheel you up to a desk and you could be, my thing is now is ownership. You know, you want your kids to be better. So I'm pushing in him. I want him to be an owner, you know, because the best thing that you can control is your time. You know, that is priceless beyond whatever money could afford. Your time is the most valuable thing that you have, and don't nobody owe you nothing, you know. So if I had one goal, it would be a free education. Who don't want that for the kid, you know? And
well, but no, Courtney, and I'm just being devil's advocate again. This is you valuing education. You are valuing the education. You know, we met in the educational setting and we saw what that did for us compared to our contemporaries. You know, what does family say? Our children pass through us, not for us. Oh, wow.
Power.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, and maybe these questions I keep posing, Courtney, and you're doing an excellent job of what you're sharing. I appreciate you, and we'll get ready to wind this up in a minute. But I just want to say, and maybe it's a small minority that I'm thinking of. You know, they say it's that small minority, but they're loud. But it's really a small amount. I just really hate that people look at that and they put these kids in a position where if a kid is getting any kind of perfect example, if you ever go back and look at the McDonald's All-American game from any years past, you'd be like, who 2 to 3 people out of a team of 20 may be names you may have heard of in the NBA. And of the 2 or 3, maybe one is a bona fide superstar. So that means that for 15 plus years, however long this kid was out here on the scene playing, getting all these accolades, going all around the country, you the man. When it came down to it, when me and you and your bro turn back in and look at the TV and look back in time, nothing happened with these guys. The Gilbert Arenas interview, when they were talking about different players, and they're saying names, and you like, and we're basketball connoisseurs. So what I'm getting at is, it's so easy to get all this pub, but when it really comes down to one being a Division I college athlete, 2 being an NBA player, and we see all that's happening with Kwame Brown and the discussion about whether, being a number 1 draft pick still, you could be a number 1 draft pick and still not quote unquote make it. So I really want people to really to back the hell up off these kids, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other way to say it. And you've done an excellent job in what you've been doing. And I'm just hoping that people can take from you what you're saying. So with the time we have, man, just give me your thoughts just in totality as far as the topic, what you think you can share to someone else as they go, the things that have really been on your mind, and we'll let you get on out of here because I know it's some people waiting for you to add some numbers up for them to get some stuff taken care of. And I really appreciate your time, brother.
No, you know what? First of all, let me say this, man. I'm very humble and appreciative that you even thought of me to be in this, to do this thing. I'm proud of you and what you got going on. You started from the ground up, man. You didn't, you didn't take no handouts. You pounding the pavement. You making it happen. So blessings to you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see you to keep pushing. But for everybody, you know, in this thing, I'm just a father, man. I'm just a father trying to do the best I can for my son. And at the end of the day, that's what I want. That's the goal, is for when I'm past and gone, that my son will say, man, my father was this, my father was that. It's time for me to do this. It's time for me to do that. It starts in our house, man. You know, whatever is broadcasted out into the world, I'm a strong believer that it starts in your house. If I don't have my house in order as far as my son, can't tell nobody else nothing. And don't listen, I'm not saying this from no high horse or no nothing like that. But I know that if I don't set the bar and the precedence in my house, when I put him out into the world, he's not going to have the bar set for himself. And I can't allow that to happen. And go with your gut, you know, and go with God. First of all, whatever it is that you think you might want to do for a second, pray about it. Take a second and think about it. Like Denzel Washington say, I hope your shoes are so far up under the bed that you got to get on your knees. And while you down there, make sure you pray. Because first and foremost, man, we in an unbelievable time right now. And sports ain't really the highlight. It's just living. It's just waking up the next day saying, man, you know, thank you, God. I'm on this side. I'm on this
man, when have we been at a point that you can take a couple breaths, the air you breathe, or being in somebody's presence? I ain't talking about physically being with them, the AIDS epidemic and all that, being in their face, chopping it up.
Yeah.
I just want to add to that. You're right.
Yeah. So, you know, for parents, man, just be parents. Go with your gut. Ain't no book to this. You know, you get some advice and and stand on your own 2 feet and make your own decision, because your decision is for your household. And, you know, and you stand on that. You know, don't get wavered by all of these things. And, you know, it's funny, you know, you see a lot of kids with the shoes and all of this stuff. And back in the day, you know, that used to be one of the things that, oh man, not for my son, but I'm just saying that we saw, oh man, this person doing this and this person doing that. My daddy do it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to look for nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to look at none of these things, you know. For all my needs are provided because my father takes care, my parents take care of me. I won't say my father. Let's not forget his mom too.
Yep.
We take care of him, and we make sure that he doesn't want or need to go out anywhere else to try and take, steal, or anything. First of all, that's not in our principles. Second of all, we okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if we ain't, it just ain't for you at that time.
Yeah. It's on my heart to add one thing to your point. Raheem Anderson, Sr., his son is an incoming freshman at University of Michigan. Big boy. He was a Cass Tech, great young man. But I remember something he said that stuck with me. He said, if you base your life around your children, it'll all fall into place. He said, too many times we have a life and we try to fit our kids in. And I've known now as a divorcee after, you know, almost 10 years, you know, having my daughter, you know, throughout the week and on the weekends, I realized that if I just focus on her and build my life around her, at least until I get her in college and all that kind of stuff, it works out. But it's hard when you want to go. I was watching Martin earlier, when you want to go to the Sugar Shack, you know what I'm saying, to get it in. And I ain't mad, you know, as it's changed. But you understand what I'm saying as far as how we got out of college, and once we got in relationships, some of us chose to prioritize the family, while others chose to prioritize the streets. You know, ain't no other way I can really put it. And like I said, I love a good sugar shack here and there, man. But I just realized, and this is maybe advice to the parents that are listening, is that if you focus on the child and base your life around that, to your point, Courtney, everything can come into play. Before you go, I want to make sure I shout out your brother, man. Your brother's been holding us down. He was like, please don't talk about Kwame. That's a whole nother show, man. But that's another conversation. But he did finish say, we doing it right now. You know, that's it. So give me some final comments. You've been giving nothing but wisdom, Courtney, and I appreciate final comments, and we'll let you get ready to get on up out of here, man. Just any final thing you got to say to our listeners and your support group.
Yeah, I know this might come as a shock to hear me say this to some people, but through God, everything is able, you know, and if you keep him first and you keep your family grounded around him, you know, and not fall wayside to the things that you see in the world. Because we are in the world, but we are not of the world. That's the most important thing that we can push. And I say this all again from a humble spirit and knowing my testimony and what God has brought me from and through. You know, and I know that if he like, it's almost like a rhyme. If he did it for me, he can do it for you. But
hey, it's real,
man. Just staying humble and knowing that, you know, God got us, man. God got us, and just go with your gut. Go. Yeah. You can make the decision for whatever you want. My father always said it. As long as you got 2 feet, you can get up and move whenever you want to. And if you got this, you can make a decision. If you in your right mind and your right state, make the decision and keep pushing and live with it. Stand on it. You know, and don't worry about the rest, man, because none of this stuff is promised for us. We're not promised tomorrow.
No, we're not. You're right.
Love them. You know, I'm corny, man. I tell my son all the time, I could get on him. And once I get on him, I'm gonna tell him I love you. It's for a reason, man. I'm not playing this game and this world is for keeps, man. You can't get this again.
Ooh.
You know, so that's all I want to instill in my son, man, is just to go hard with whatever you gonna do. Go for it. Go take it. Don't wait for nobody to sit back and hand you nothing. If that's what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah.
And keep pushing the kids to do that. One thing I like about this generation and the younger generation is that they are fearless. If you're not saying the right stuff, if they not honoring, they smell it. You know, they gonna let you know, like, nah. And that's the best thing you can do, because at a certain point, they got to make them decisions on their own. For the world, keep preparing them to make a decision.
Right.
And living with their decision. And that's all. I don't know if I'm even the right person to give advice, but that's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, brother, let me tell you something. I can't wait to watch this over again just to be inspired by what you say, and I ain't gonna play with it. So with that, this is Lindsey Huddleston with my guy, Courtney Alexander, father of Jacob Alexander, brother of Charles Alexander, and we can go on and on and on, son of Charles Alexander as well. That's your dad's name, Charles?
Yeah, he's a senior. My brother's please don't call my brother junior. My father will have a fit.
I will not. I get it. Charles, I get it. I understand. I'm the second. I'm named after my dad. I don't want no junior on nothing on my name either. You know what I'm saying? But brother, I appreciate you. You know how we do. We only a phone call and a text away. We do this summer, man. Once I get out of this boot, man, somehow get some of this golf and go. I'm due to get out there with you, man, so I can get some of them out there and have a good time.
Now listen, I'm not holding off just because you coming off the boot now.
I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
I'm going.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a lot of trash talk, but that's the love, baby. So with that, you go ahead, man. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep checking in with you. And believe me, your words have been a blessing to somebody, and even if it's just one person. I appreciate you. So we'll get up with you next time. This is Lindsey Huddleston with SPS. Take care.
Salute, my brother.
Yes, sir.